Hey everyone, we are returning today about 2 weeks later to see what the beavers have done at this location. Maybe you recognize this location from 2 weeks ago. This is the beavers flooding the road. I can see it down there at the bottom of the hill, still happening, and we're gonna see if we can unclog it once again. We had that thing completely drained about 2 weeks back. We came back after 4 days. The beavers had plugged it again. I had marked it with ribbons on the sides of the road so people driving by can see the hazard if it's not apparent at night. And it was also reported to the company responsible. 2 weeks later, doesn't look like much of anything has happened. You see, I have to keep slowing down on this hill because there's numerous water bars, which are designed to push the water off to the side into the drainage ditch and stop it from eroding a lot. I remember a few years ago, this road did not have those, and it was significantly worse as far as rutting. As you can see on the camera, a good amount of the trees are already starting to turn their fall colors. They're a little bit stressed out this year because we did go about 3 months without rain, and this is a climate that typically is supposed to get numerous rainstorms every week. So we did get a few rainstorms over the past month or so that really did help, and that's why the beavers were able to build this up here. They took advantage of the recent rain and they flooded out the road. It's been flooded for at least 2 weeks. A lot of potholes here. This may be another spot where water crosses when the water's higher. This whole area is a bit low. The culvert is up on that hump. The reason they designed the road like that is because they want the road to wash out here instead of where the culvert is, because that would cost a lot more money and take a lot more time to rebuild. All right, we're gonna pull over right here near the culvert pipe. All right, here we are. I've been here in years past to look at this area, and there typically has been a really small beaver pond here, but now it's flooded way back into the forest. They probably have millions of gallons stored up here. So this culvert, as we saw last time, I did unclog it a little bit, got it flowing, but it typically can't be unclogged. It's crumpled way too bad from the excavator last time it was taken care of. So there are 2 pipes here. We're gonna try to get this one unclogged again, and that should create a good amount of current. The downhill side of the culverts will rise a little bit because there is another partial beaver dam right there. So the immediate 50 feet will rise for a bit. Culvert number 2 is right here. That's the secondary flow culvert. This is the primary flow culvert. What that means is this is the one that's supposed to be flowing on a daily basis, and that one's only supposed to kick in and help during a storm. These beavers were active. Look at these. They even incorporated a few rocks here into it. Trying to get into the culvert here. Just want to see the blockage from the inside. Wow. Ooh, got some spider friends in here. Gotta watch out for them. Another spider friend. Good morning, everyone. I was much too tired last night. I just got about 5 hours of sleep, and we're gonna head back out to that location and do that as soon as the sun comes up in about 45 minutes. So I pulled down a road that I knew nobody else would come down. It's actually kind of sad. This whole place is grown in. This is usually one of my popular overnight places. By the looks of it, it's going to be too overgrown to even come down here in a few years, especially since a giant tree fell over and I had to move out of the way last night. It's probably what's been preventing people from coming up here as a camping spot. Up until recently, that moon was so bright. Last night I could even go for a walk without any flashlights. Alright everyone, this is what I believe is preventing everyone from driving down here. See this tree? It fell over. It didn't quite block the road. You see over here to the left, I just had to move a couple of its branches to get by last night. Not that horrible, but it's actually a good thing for camping down here, because it's going to prevent the average person from coming up here. I had to sideswipe that one pretty bad. And this right here will stop anyone that's super tall from coming down here, because I can just barely fit under that by like 6 inches. I'm still going to drive under it real slow, because I didn't like how little clearance that gave me last night. And this section of the road would keep anyone with a really short car from coming up here. The hump in this grass is like 10 inches tall. And here we are back to the semi-main road. It's pretty foggy out tonight, or this morning. We should hit the pavement in about 20 minutes. That's a really beautiful sight. This looks kind of cool this early in the morning. All right, everyone, it looks like we're back. It's almost 6 a.m. and you see at the bottom of the hill, that little glimmer, that's the flooded road. We'll be there in a few minutes. All right, everyone, we're about ready to get started. It's a pretty chilly morning. It's only about 48 degrees, but it's going to quickly warm. Today's supposed to be in the 80s. So camera number 2's going, and beavers were definitely here since last night. I barely touched it last night. I didn't make it flow anymore, but yet everything is different. All right, everyone. We got it flowing a little bit already. I guess we're gonna try getting the rake out. Alright everyone, we got a pretty good mound of stuff out of there. The majority of that is just grass and mud. Take a look at the mosquitoes that we attracted. Don't want to stand still. There's hundreds of them hovering around these piles in Culvert. I somehow disturbed them all. Now, if you saw me raking there and you couldn't tell why, the beaver dam goes out about 4 feet and I had to lower that whole part of it. Now it's much too dangerous to work on at the moment. I might work on more in a few hours if I come back. But we already achieved the goal. The altercation there will be enough to get it completely off the road. Except, we'll be in the same problem again in 24 hours. As soon as nighttime comes, beavers are going to plug that thing right back up. As you see, it's no longer dribbling heavily across the road. You can see the line of where the water was. When I drove through this thing earlier, it had to have been at least 4 or 5 inches. Now, it's barely 2. It'll leave probably a few puddles here as it's not able to get back into the pond. But we're doing pretty good. Haven't seen any angry beaver splashes. They're pretty much done for the night. Anytime I have caught them on trail cameras, they usually seem to leave a few hours before sunbreak. Right now we have a ton of water discharging from that culvert. Real good amount of it. The culvert pipe is now just about halfway at capacity. And you see the whole area downstream filled up. Like I said, it flooded off to the banks. All because of that beaver dam right there. I don't even think the sun is officially up yet. And we already got this thing done. Look at that big clump right there. The beavers have all kinds of storage. That's why it just keeps floating over here. They have all kinds of things right here that you can't see underneath the water. That's how they're able to plug it in a few hours. They expect these incidents to happen. And if they have enough supplies, they create a reserve. Look at that giant clump of grass. If I lifted that thing out of the water, that's probably a good 40 pounds of grass. Let's go see if we can see that come out the other side. I don't think it got stuck. Oh, it briefly turned muddy. Oh, there it is. That was the clump of grass. The turbulence kind of sunk it, but it came through nicely. That means there's no sharp sticks for it to get caught up on. And I'm sure there's going to be more clumps of that are going to become loosened by the undertow. If you saw when I first started, the little bit of current I made caused some things to immediately plug it. That happened a number of times. But now I think there's too much flow. Unless a few sticks get jammed across it, the grass should not be a problem. Yeah, this whole thing is flooded about 4 feet, well, almost 4 feet above capacity. Right here in the normal pond, I'd say it's got to be at least 6 feet down in there. But we'll be back in just a couple hours, and we'll try to do it again. Just take a look at all those mosquitoes. They're not biting me like I thought, but I'm not going to sit around all still to find out. A lot of times when I sleep out here in the vehicle, I'll bring a plastic window screen, and I use a bunch of tiny fishing magnets to clip it around a window, so I have good ventilation. Last night when I first tried to sleep, it was about 67 degrees, which is a little too hot for comfort for me. So I planned on getting like 12 hours of sleep out here. That's why I went to my parking space at 5 p.m. Couldn't fall asleep until like midnight, so that was just a useless effort. But I forced myself up at 4 a.m. Hopefully I'll fall asleep better tonight, get on a better schedule. Water's still dropping back. It was also a miserable night not being able to have the windows open because I spilled about a gallon of fuel, well, maybe half a gallon of fuel in gas cans, because some of these remote places, it's impossible to get to and back on 1 tank of gas. So I typically bring 4 tanks of gas with me. And the reason I couldn't use the window screen, does anyone know what I'm talking about? These tiny little flies. They're like the size of pepper. You can barely see them, but they hurt so bad when they bite, and a bunch of those things were coming in last night. Well, I see some birds that definitely like the water dropping back. They're all starting to poke around the edges, looking for aquatic insects, maybe larvae. I believe at some point, maybe during another storm, the water wasn't just crossing here, but possibly down here where it's all wet and ruddy. Up on the hill, you see a little bit of groundwater leaking. And now in the other direction, I believe this section of road may have also had water going across it during a big storm. That's why they put culverts at the highest point, so they're the least likely part of the road to wash out, because they're the most difficult and time-consuming to fix. All right, everyone, I just went on a drive because I wanted to show you where all that water I released is going. These are the only culverts that are downstream before it reaches a pond. Look at the size of that beaver dam. Well, it used to be a beaver dam anyways. It's now broken and is going through it. That beaver dam wasn't bothering the road, but there is a good chance the beavers were messing with the culverts along with it. It's kind of rare when you see them build something like that when they could have easily plugged the culvert instead. But they probably were messing with the road at the same time. But it also looks like that dam kind of circles through here, so it may have been leaking onto the road because it was likely higher than the road. So here we got two culverts. Not in the best of condition, should be replaced as soon as possible. The bottoms are about to peel off as you see them severely rotting. Look right there. That's been hit by an excavator. Wait until you see the other side, what the excavator guy did. Whoa. Big spider was on my shoulder. Look at that. That got hit really, really hard. Wow. I don't know how, that's the downhill side. I doubt those were ever not visible. Unless, of course, there was a snowbank. I gotta move out of the way. I think there's enough room already. I just gotta pull over a little further, because there is a giant truck coming, and I don't know if it's one of those double wide trailers. Not a log truck. I just turned around and started going the other direction. It was going a lot slower than I thought. I could hear the Jake brakes like a couple minutes in advance. All right, everyone, we're coming back. It's been about 4 hours. The sun's fully up now. Looking down there, I see a few puddles that are trapped, but it looks like the flood is completely gone. Alrighty. Looks a lot drier here. A lot of these puddles are also reduced. It must have been the water table keeping some of them. The flood is gone. There's just a few puddles trapped here. Water's at least a good 6 inches below the road now. All those birds are still here I was talking about. Pecking aquatic larvae and insects. Alright, everyone. Now that the water is a bit lower, I am going to take a walk on inside, see if we can remove anything from the inside, possibly weaken it a little bit, and then maybe we'll do more on the other side. If not, we're definitely going to leave some kind of camera in here tonight, because I'm sure the beavers are going to love to plug this up. Got some spider friends. I might flood my boots. It might not be avoidable. Yeah, we are going to need the rake. All right, grabbing the rake. Let's see if we can do anything. Oh, spider friend, that's the same one we saw last night. A lot of cave spiders too. I don't see any black widows today. I'm gonna put the camera light on the ceiling. And I'm gonna put you guys on the ceiling. Not the best camera choice. We're just gonna move this. There we go. Dam doesn't look that big once you're in here. On your knees. It just makes me exhausted being in here. Oh, my butt's wet. Trying to straighten my legs out so bad. Oh, it's so bad. I'm cramping up so bad. It's not that hard of a job other than this tight space. Whoa. Oh. I don't want to flood my big high boots, so
I gotta go take them off. I have to put on my other boots so that I can sit in here. I can't stand in here. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I'm just gonna leave my lights here. I'll be back in a moment. All right, everyone, I'm back. I already flooded my boots, so now I can just chip it away in a comfortable way. That's one of the reasons why waders are dangerous. In high flow, it can trap you because it gets so heavy. blockage. Now we're gonna head outside. Wow, there's a lot of spiders who love the camera light and the camera. Now we're gonna head up top, take a quick break, then we're gonna remove the dam on the outside. I removed probably 90% of the blockage in the pipe. Now it'll be easy to do it outside with the rake, since the majority of that is small twigs and mud. We just removed most of the structure, which is a good thing. Hopefully these spiders don't get too angry, because I am now removing my camera light and the camera, which has a few hitchhikers on it. Culvert, I accidentally just dipped my camera light. Hopefully it's okay. It's not waterproof. All right, we're out the other side. The debris went down there and joined the beaver dam downstream. That doesn't matter. That would take years for them to build it up where it would become a problem. Oh. Wow, I was only in there 7 minutes. But that kind of stuff takes the breath out of you. Now that it's all clean in there, nothing to get hung up on, see how it goes right into it, wide open. We just got to get rid of this, and we can drop the pond 2 or 3 more feet, which will be awesome. We'll start up in a minute. Forest ranger just stopped and asked me if I'm all right, if I need any help, just because I'm randomly parked here. Showed him what I was doing. He doesn't have a problem with it. Neither of them had a problem with it, because the road is suddenly clear. I'm sure that was a surprise to them. That's been flooded for at least 2 weeks. All right, just what we did on the inside of the culvert is already getting it lower than it was when we arrived about 20 minutes ago. Now we're gonna get in there and do a good amount of removal right here, because that should be pretty easy to rake away. But I'm only gonna do what I feel safe doing. Now that there's nothing in there, the risk of getting sucked in is very, well, not low, but a lot lower than it would have been this morning when it was up to the top of the pipe. I can tell you that. Look at all this beaver reserve they have, this giant clump. Let's get all this in, because they'll reuse that part. Look at that slot. This log is a good keystone. A lot of it's going to let loose. We got a lot of water power right now to help us. look at that undertow, wow. Wow, the undertow's helping me rip this apart. What is happening there? Look at that, you saw that just come up from the surface? That scared me for a moment, thinking it was an angry beaver. Look at that stuff just coming up. Stinky swamp gas, is it gonna do it again? We have this thing probably 80% of the way open. We're gonna go a little more. It now has 2 feet of water gushing through it. Surprisingly, it's not even hard to stand there. Inside, I wouldn't want to be taking the whole thing apart. All it takes is a big part of it to come at once, and it'll just knock you down. No, it does not look like it's going to do that again at the moment, but that was kind of cool. All right, we got it slightly over 80% open. The beavers will probably start building immediately when the sun comes down. I know they're definitely active here. Beaver hunters have not been to this area yet. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and grab a trail camera and get it in there. This is not flowing that fast. I can easily go in there and slap a camera on the ceiling.
All right, everyone, I made the choice to do this with a motion sensing mode. I'm hoping the rapids aren't going to continuously set it off, but I chose not to do it time-lapse because I want to be able to see the beavers coming back and forth when the water draws back enough for them to do so, which will probably be by the end of the day. It's only 10 o'clock now. They have a good almost 9 hours before it gets dark. So I'm going to quickly jump down and show you what I did. See, there's probably now a good 18 inches of flow, but it's not enough to take me away. And you see the camera is right there. It's only about less than 18 inches away from the water. So, let's hope a beaver dam upstream doesn't break. That camera might get taken away, or at the very least it'll get bent up. You see all this really, oh, a frog. Two frogs, see how it's loose debris? Beavers put this here. Oh, there's frogs everywhere. They put this here as an easy way to plug it up. For example, the beaver is smart enough that if the water quickly rose, this stuff would rise up with it and plug it automatically against their brackets they already put in. They wouldn't have to do anything, it would clog itself. Or, like me, or a storm, which basically is what I just did. They're gonna probably think that was done by a storm. They'll be able to push all this debris over there once they line it with a few sticks. If there's a whole family of beavers, they could potentially jam this thing in just 20 minutes, assuming it's the predicted flow, which is gonna be pretty low later on. I'm gonna drain my boots and we'll get moving. Definitely gonna need to find a nice lake to take a bath in before the day is up. It's finally been raining. It put a massive dent in our drought. This area of northern Maine is almost out of the drought. That being said, northern Maine was only in a minor drought. Southern Maine, especially Massachusetts, they got some rain over the past month, but they're still in a moderate drought. It took them out of severe drought, but they're still in moderate. So it rained, the rivers didn't flood, but they did get around normal, a little bit high. Now they're all dried up and low again down south. Up here north, things are starting to look a little better. That's good. Trees can gain a little bit of energy before they go into hibernation. This year is not going to be the year for leaf peepers. A lot of the maple trees, they're just turning brown and dropping very little color. The trees are all dropping their leaves 6 or 8 weeks early. They started dropping them in the middle of August. I don't think our normal fall colors in October are going to happen. I think it's going to look like winter by then. But the sad thing is not like the maple trees. The sad thing is, not this area, but there's certain parts of logging forest, they literally lost probably thousands, tens of thousands of acres, just a total loss. It looks like it was baked. It just looks like a kindling box ready to go up in fire. Hopefully the next few years are wetter. That'll quickly grow in with thickets and start regrowing. This happens to me so often. This is why I always keep a beach towel on my seats, because I'm now soaked, but I'm not going to change my clothes because I plan on going in more culverts today. Draining my boots. I will put them in the back seat upside down so they can drip down onto the mat. And I have a pair of Velcro sandals that I'm going to put on for the time being. All right, everyone, we're coming back. It's getting pretty late. It's just after 7 p.m. I want to see if the beavers started building yet. By the looks of it from now, from up here, it looks bone dry, the road. Water table definitely dropped. Every single pothole here yesterday was filled with water. They're all gone, mostly. That giant flood, the road is dry. It's completely gone. Even if the beavers plug this thing completely overnight, which I predict they will, it'll probably take a day or two for the water to come back up. Wow. I can't even see any water. Yeah, we got that culvert completely, no, like 80% open, yeah. Wow, it's so low. Thankfully, we still have some daylight to show you around. We'll be back in the morning. Whole area smells like the ocean at low tide. All those rotten plants are now exposed, releasing all the stinky swamp gases. Oh, here we are. Does it look like the beavers have done anything? I do think the beavers have been here doing some stuff. It looks like it. This area absolutely stinks. Smells like a sewage treatment plant. All this rotten plant material everywhere. So, this is close to what their pond usually looks like. You see, the water got so deep that it killed all this grass. And that's what stinks. It's rotting. It smells absolutely horrible. It's really nasty. Look at this. That's how high the water was this morning. Look at that. Probably 2.5 feet of loss. And it's still losing water. It's definitely still leaving faster than it's coming in. And the discharge, yep, there's still more water than there was leaving before we started. Wow, that smells potent. I don't know how to explain it. To a degree, it smells acidic, if that's the right word. It's very potent. Yep, this whole area is drying out now. This is where the water was cutting into the forest. Here, when we started, there was probably a good 5 inches sitting on the road. By the time we left, there was only 2. Now, how far do we gotta walk to find water? Bone dry. This is all bone dry. Now we have a little bit of water. Where I'm standing now would not have been doable without the big high boots just 12 hours ago. So yes, we lost probably 2.5 feet across this whole area. The forest was flooded. It's all drained back. I'm trying to do that math right now. So, football field worth. And I don't know how far exactly it went into the forest, but I'd say this is at least 2 football fields worth. It's possible we drained 1 million gallons over the course of the day. At least 500,000 gallons has been drained here. Heard something. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look how low the water is. You can really see it here. This morning the water was here. Yeah, like 2.5 feet. Look at that. Brand new material ready to go out. Look at all these stumps. Oh, these are so fresh. So many stumps cut by the beavers. We'll see what happens. It's so quiet out. That's a good echo. All right, everyone, we're back. We're gonna be retrieving that trail camera today, and we're gonna see how much the beavers built back. It's probably gonna take them weeks to get it high enough where it would flood, unless we got a big rainstorm, but there's absolutely no rain in the forecast. It's actually quite nice. Temperatures are all in the 60s for the foreseeable future. What does everyone think? Did the beavers get it slightly higher? I'm not sure. They definitely built back a little bit of slop, or did that just float from the undertow and get stuck? I know they're active. The last time we unclogged this a few weeks back, they had this thing flooding again across the road the next day, but we only did drop it about a foot that time. This time we did more than 3 feet. Probably closer to 4 feet. So I do think they built back. That looks smaller. Now we're gonna try to get that trail camera out of here. I think I'm gonna have to go and grab the big tall boots so I can go in here. Stupid cheap water bottle. It just fell out of the vehicle when I opened the door and it broke. I was able to fill up a few water bottles and drink a bunch of it. Save as much as I can. Now we're gonna go down and head into this culvert. Maybe we can just enter from this end. I installed the trail camera going in the exit. All right, look at all that river foam. I hope we got something from the beavers. It smells really bad in here, that same smell I described when I was here at night. I'm hoping we got something. This pile here may have been put there by a beaver. We'll see. I'll put all the footage the trail camera got at the end of the video. Ton of frogs once again. And again, the reason we can't open Culvert 2 is because there's so much excavator damage. Yeah, there's a lot of excavator damage in there. Alright everyone, I just spent about an hour here editing through all that footage. That trail camera made 900 videos on motion sensing mode. The majority of the footage was triggered by junk floating by. Yes, a beaver was doing this, but when a beaver's below the surface of the water, it's very hard to set off a camera. But we did get them on camera a few clips towards the end. Now, we're going to go in here and try to remove even more of this because there's barely any flow. We'll try to get this big clump right here to all flow through. And then we'll leave another trail camera if we can get this thing open more. So first I'm going to step in here. It's very, very stinky. Oh, very, very tight with all this damage. I'm probably going to get soaked, but that's okay. There's so many little fleas and flies in here. It's really nasty. Oh, these mosquitoes are bad. Keep biting me. Oh, now my butt's wet. My legs are getting really sore again. At least the water's shallow enough to be kneeling. Ooh, a frog. Beavers are going to be angry. Oh, I'm getting very sore again. We're making progress. It's like a puzzle. They have to come apart in a certain order. Oh, there's a leech. Get out of here. Because it's really stinky. There's still a lot more to come. There's like these couple really big ones, like this. I'm trying to get out the whole time.
but they're in there so well. There's like 5 major sticks that won't move. Alright guys, now I'm gonna head on outside. Get rid of some of that muck, which is sitting on top of the pieces I can't move. Then maybe we'll be able to move them. This is mixed with moose poop. This pile, there's so many moose turds mixed in with it. It's literally a big pile of manure. Nasty stuff. Like half of this is moose poop. Oh, it's almost gone. Alright, all the moose poop is gone. At least it's just moose poop. It's the same as like cow manure. Not that bad. Oops again. This is a crushed culvert. I don't have a flat spot to put you on. Ugh. Oh, look at that thing rising. Oh, you saw how it just rose into spot? Culvert's not big enough to turn my rake around. See how it kind of plugged itself? That's why beavers pile this stuff here, so it'll keep clogging itself. We're almost at full capacity. We just got to get all this heavy slop off. Then we should be able to get those keystone sticks out. Oh, there's a big wall of stuff. Oh, it just so gracefully went by me. Now I gotta step over part of it and let it go. Those big sticks still are not ready to go. Oh my gosh, everyone. Look what's happening. It somehow got blocked on the end. in the excavator damage. We gotta come out of here and get that. Right in my face, dirty water. This has proven to be one of the worst culverts I've ever done. Oh, it smells so bad on this end. It's already kind of broken, but see how some of this stuff got stuck? It's causing it to back up through the whole pipe. This is so nasty. I keep making that noise because it's all over me. I'm drenched in poop water. All right, we got most of it out. This is so nasty. My big high boots already got water in them, so might as well just flood them. Whatever. Seriously, whatever. It doesn't matter at this time. So stinky in this pipe. Literally smells like a sewage plant. There's so much feces. But it's more of manure. I'm not really worried. I'm going to take a bath as soon as I get to a lake. Now can we get those sticks out of here? Come on! There's nothing on them. What is holding these? I bet it's excavator damage. Here. Ooh. The beaver debris is coming over again with the undertow. It's never ending. Oh, there's still more. Get out of here! Finally, the blob has moved. The undertow is still dragging tons of beaver reserves. Now I'm going to take the rake and tidy it up a little bit. Give the beavers some trouble when they try to do this again. You see how the water's going slow? It's stuck at the other end again. And we gotta head over there in a moment. These beavers have like an almost endless supply of junk that they've accumulated here. Yeah, it's literally endless. I could scoop away for hours at the bank and not even get a dent in it. So I just gotta get the immediate stuff. My nose is tingling so bad by the smell. It's acidic. It's rotting. There's poop everywhere. Disgusting. Absolutely horrible. At least there's literally nothing here anymore. We got 100% of the blockage. Everything's gone. They'll have to start from scratch. I'm just getting random debris that's left over. This excavator damage is so sharp that it's catching things that are just floating by. It's set up for failure. It's horrible. We got everything. The undertow is not going to stop. It's going to keep attracting junk. All right. Water's pretty deep in here now because of the blockage at the other end. This is probably the toughest blockage I've ever done. We're going to be going on 4 days. I'm going to get a trail camera back in there. Now it's going to drop a whole nother 2 feet or so for a grand total of about 5 feet in drop. Look at all this junk. We're going to get a little more of this. We got to get some of this out of here to stop it from backing up into the pipe. Wow, everyone. We're completely clear in the pipe. There's not a single thing remaining. All right, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna need a little bit of break before I put anything back in. I know I get comments all the time saying, wow, you mustn't do anything in your life if you get tired in just 10 or 20 minutes. I don't think some of you who leave those comments realize how powerful water is. And sometimes you cannot fight it. That's why a blockage like this lingers on multiple days when you do it by hand. You can't do it at once. Not only is it a safety concern, the pressure is too great to get it done at once. A pond this big now is going to take the rest of the day to draw back. The next gigantic blast of water, or the next time the road crews come by, they can get rid of this if they want. That's not going to affect anything because now there's a clear channel around it. All clear, perfect. We're gonna lose so much water now. These beavers got me bad. I have a splitting headache that smells so bad. It doesn't smell like poop. It smells, it's very strong chemically. It's like a chemical smell. Very acidic. Horrible, horrible rotting smell. It's the grossest. It's so bad, hard to describe. I'm soaked. Every part of me is soaked. And I had to lay a beach towel down on the seat, and I still think the car is going to smell for a while until I find a place to rinse off. And I didn't even want to put the waders in the car. I had to wrap them up in bags. It reeks. These beavers got me real good. But I hit back even harder today. We should be able to come back tonight and see this thing so low. It's so stinky and it's so itchy as it dries this gross stuff all over me. I'm driving really quickly to get to this beaver pond that I know is really clean. I'm gonna take a quick dip. Now the beaver that lives here I know is pretty friendly. One time I threw it a carrot and it actually took it. All right, here we are. We have a few cameras here. We'll put that in a separate video because this video is going to be long enough. Oh, wow. We're going to have good footage here for this video. They raised it up by 2 feet. Perfect for a bath. All right, here we are at the friendly beaver swamp. They completely plugged it and they made it rise by 2 feet in front of that camera. I'm hoping that camera got some good footage. I'm hoping they were able to set it off. I got to take a quick plunge. This is so gross. My hat, every part of me stinks. That doesn't need to be washed. Oh, there's fishes. Unfortunately, there are a few leeches. We got to make this quick. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. There's a school of fish in here. Dozens of them. That's awesome. I wonder if I have any food in the car to feed them. 1, 2, 3. Ugh. If that doesn't make a beaver angry, I don't know what will. Ugh. So refreshing. Now this beaver chose the awesome spot. Before I jumped in, that water was crystal clear. Unlike that other, that was literally a cesspool. I believe that was a grazing ground for moose. When the water rose, it took all the piles of poop and floated over to the culvert. There was floating piles of moose pellets everywhere. That's why it smelled. Now I'm soaked. Now I gotta go grab the big high boots, give them a quick rinse off. Then I'm just gonna walk around in my socks for like 10 minutes and drip dry. Time to rinse off the big high boots.
Just making sure the sole is still in there. Other one. Great. I didn't even know that the soles in these are stitched in. They literally can't leave. Now I'm gonna leave these boots right here to hang for a few minutes. Let them drip dry. I wish they made rubber boots where they were stitched in. They're always floating out. It's starting to get late, and I still smell kind of bad. Rinsing off helped, but I still feel really dirty, so I'm going to be taking a bath here, and I'm going to be using some soap on myself. It's just still very stinky after being in all that moose poop earlier. All right, everyone, I'm all sudsed up head to toe. When I first got out of the water, I was being swarmed with mosquitoes, but they don't like Dawn dish soap. They're all gone. I feel nice and clean now. The big high boots still smell so bad, we gotta suds these things up inside and out. Wow, the sky looks so cool. All right, we're heading back. We didn't quite make it in time before dark, but we're gonna see how much it dropped back before the beavers start building, and then we'll pick the camera up in the morning. Ooh. All right, oh, another frog. They're everywhere tonight. It's a nice night to be a frog. It's nice and humid out. Pond's probably very empty too. I see another one up there in the road, that little speck down towards the bottom middle of the screen, over to the left a tiny bit. Sun is just going down. All right, the water's pretty low. You can see it right here a little bit. We have a lot more land showing now. It's dropped a good amount. This is about normal. This is what you would have on a normal year. I know you can't really see it, but let me show you in the culvert for a better perspective. Look how low the water is. It's barely moving. Damn. It's barely moving, so you know what that basically means? Beavers might not even build back. But it's very low. It's doing that because of all this junk built up down here. It's not the stuff we released, which is right here. Remember how I made this cut? It's the beaver dam that's further down there, right here about. So it's not going to be flowing anymore. Hopefully we get something on the camera. If not, oh well, no big deal. Area really smells bad again, and now I'm realizing it's probably gases produced by the massive amount of moose poop. This is probably a moose grazing land. That's why there's so much poop. There was little piles of it floating by. I believe that's what happened. It flooded, it lifted it all up. I created the current and it sucked it all over. It was so nasty. All right, see you in the morning. I'm still a little damp and it's really chilly tonight. Actually turning the heat on, haven't done that all year. That is really pretty. Look how the fog stuck to all the trees. Only the tamarack trees, but it looks really awesome, all that dew it left behind. Hey everyone, we're back on the final morning. The water is just about back to normal. It's still slightly too high, but that's because of that beaver dam downstream. Yeah, I was right. Without the current, the beavers didn't even attempt to build back. Did they attempt to build back down here, where there actually would be a little bit of moving water? They did not. That little slice was in that beaver dam. That beaver dam up there also is not touched. I can't believe it. It looks like they may have actually given up, or maybe some of them were finally trapped. I know 2 days ago we got one of them on camera, but who knows how many there may have been. Because 2-3 weeks ago, we drained this road back a foot. Next day, it was completely jammed again, and you saw how the beavers definitely intervened. Now we're going to go ahead and grab this trail camera, because who knows? Maybe we got some beavers going through it. Take a look at the amount of mosquitoes around here. Still very, very stinky. I'm going to try to not get soaked getting that camera out of here. Oh my gosh, they're swarming me. Do you see how many mosquitoes are down here? Oh, they're landing all over me. We got to make this quick. There's no way around getting bit a bunch of times. All right, if I'm careful, I will not flood the boots. And I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.